So 2-1 the advantage for China in defence of the Sudirman Cup title. Women's doubles will be up next. So there is confirmation what I was verbalising just a moment ago. China lead Indonesia 2-1 in the overall tie. Next up is the women's doubles. And if Indonesia can manage to win the women's doubles, and of course they do have the Asian Games gold medalists in Greysia, Polii and Maheswari, but then it will go down to the mixed doubles. Wouldn't that be a thriller? The world and Olympic champions Tang and Zhao Yunlei up against the former world champions Tontowi Ahmad and Liliana Nasia. Well, we talked about the men's doubles selection by China and whether we were surprised by that. I was certainly surprised by it. I'm also surprised by the women's doubles selection.
With Yuanting
and Tang Yuanting.
Yeah. Well, I actually looked a little bit on the records, not as thorough as you do, Jill, but I noticed that Bao Yixin and Tang Jinhua, they actually got a 5-0 head-to-head against Polii and Maheswari, but we haven't seen neither Bao Yixin nor Tang Jinhua in this tournament.
No, and I'm not surprised that the Bao Yixin and Tang Jinhua partnership is not really considered. What is puzzling me is why we haven't seen Bao Yixin at all in this campaign, whether she has played an awful lot of badminton so far in 2015 because she's started a new partnership in the women's doubles. They've been trying to get enough points by playing enough tournaments to get higher up the world ranking. And perhaps she's a little jaded. Maybe she's got a cold. We don't know. Maybe she's got a niggling injury problem and they feel that this pair can win anyway.
And what about Wang Xiaoli?
Yeah.
Hasn't played either. She could play with both Yang and Ma Jin. But
yeah.
I totally support the selection of Tang Yuanting because I think she's the best women's doubles player right now.
In the world? Or
yeah, in the world.
Wow, that's a statement. I'm certainly a fan of her style of play. I first took real notice of her in last year's All England because she reached the final playing with Ma Jin. And I thought that she was the best player on court in that wonderful final.
Played fantastic All England as well this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, winning.
And this is the player that I previously rated as the world's best ladies doubles player, Yang. So, of course, it makes sense to put these two together in some way. Yes. How can they lose then?
Yeah, well, they played one tournament together last year. That was the India Super Series, and they promptly won it. Young and
so they've never lost a match.
So they've never lost a match. Of course, they were selected on day one of the competition in the group stage against Germany. Beat Hertrick and Michels in 2 straight games. They were supposed to play in Thursday's quarter-final as well against the same pair, but of course we didn't get that far. That was scheduled as the 5th match, with China 3-love up. The remaining 2 matches didn't get played. Got a very powerful smash as Tang Yuanting. There she is, the 20-year-old from Nanning, and that confirms what we've just been telling you. Never lost a match. Of course, the year win-loss record doesn't take into account matches earlier in this tournament. Yuanting, 29 years of age, from Liaoning province, Olympic champion with Beijing in 2008. I wonder if she will be part of the plans for the Olympic campaign. I understand that she's going to play her next tournament with Xianxin. And there is confirmation of what I've just been telling you. They weren't selected as a pair, but of course Tang Yuanting was playing in that match against Thailand with Ma Jin. So Maheswari, 26 years of age, from Blitar in East Java. 7th in the world ranking, that's a career high. And their win-loss record for the year translates into 5 tournaments, 3 quarter-finals and 2 second round losses. Greysia Polii, born in Jakarta but brought up in Manado in the north of North Sulawesi, 27 years of age. Well, they've played all the way through the campaign, undefeated here in Dongguan. And of course winning the Asian Games gold medal last year, this Indonesian pair beat Matsutomo and Takahashi in the final, semi-final, beat the world and Olympic champions Tang and Zhao Yunlei. So that's perhaps another clue as to why we've got this Chinese selection in the women's doubles.
Yeah, because Zhao Yunlei is playing the mixed, and we haven't seen Chen Qing play in this tournament either, so it seems like the Chinese have made up their mind that this is the latest doubles that they're sticking with throughout the tournament.
Christoph Oswald from Germany announces play to get underway, and of course this is very simple. Indonesia must win this women's doubles if they have aspirations. Well, of course they have aspirations, but if they want to give themselves any chance of reaching an 8th Sudirman Cup final. First ever champions when the first tournament took place in 1989. Service fault called.
We have this ridiculous situation again where the player's asking what the fault is, but it's clearly shown by gestures of the service judge.
Yeah, the service judge Cox from the Netherlands.
I don't think this latest doubles combination is as good as Bao Yixin and Tang Yuanting.
No, I don't.
I think there's one thing missing. There's the skilled front court player is actually missing, in my opinion. It might be that they don't need a front court player because they are so good overall, Yu Yang and Tang Yuanting, but at least that would be that would be a spot to try and sort of exploit for the opponents. That it should be quite safe to play the front court.
Well, service call, fault called now on Young. Oh, good defence from the Indonesians. Greysia Polii did awfully well to reach the one forward. Yeah. That one there. And then look at that cross-court drive from Maheswari.
And this is where I feel there's a chance playing against the Chinese, because Yang, however good she isn't as good as a front court player as, for instance, Zhao Yonglei, Bao Yixin, Ma Jin.
Yeah.
So it's easier to play past her. I think that's long.
Yeah, well, there's a challenge here from the Indonesians. That's very difficult to see from that angle, but I can see from that angle that was long.
No?
Well, they lose the challenge.
Oh! Big mistake from Maheswari.
Yeah, what an opportunity.
Yeah, just block it.
Mm.
Who did she kill that on? Was it Yang or was it Tang Yuanting?
Oh, it was initially good.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, good defence from Tang Yuanting.
In some ways, the Chinese women's doubles here remind me of Kim Dong-moon and Ha Tae-kwon. Their men's doubles playing style. None of them were the natural front court player, but they didn't need to because they were so strong from the back court and the defense. Yeah, well played.
Mm. Well, you know, given what you've said so far, Steen, and when Yu Yang first took up her partnership with Wang Xiaoli, you know, and of course Yu Yang was the Olympic champion in 2008 and been world champion, and many people, and you've just said yourself, rated her as the best women's doubles player in the world. And I can remember with our friend and colleague Jim Laugerson having a discussion and saying, well, yep, she is very solid in her play, but actually I think Wang Xiaoli is the more creative. She was setting up the rally time and time again. So given that thought process and given what you've just said, I'm even more surprised that this pair is selected. I think that Tang Yuanting does need the creative player, especially going forward.
Totally agree that Yang is not the dangerous player, but she's the playmaker, setting her partner up, making no mistakes at all, almost like Ricky Subakia did with Rexy Meineke. And well played by the Indonesians. I was in the beginning, I was thinking that they were about to make a terrible mistake, directing all their shots at Tang Yuanting, having the perception that she was the weak link in this double, and that would be a really big mistake the way I see it, because I think the key to this is to challenge Yu Yang.
Yeah. Well, she got called a service fault earlier on, and I think that's just disturbed her rhythm.
And we've seen her sort of bugged by these service fault mistakes earlier.
Yeah, earlier in the week.
And they might win this anyway, the Chinese pair, but we've seen them struggle in order to get the initiative in the rally, and that's what I mean. They don't have this creative front court player that can sort of make sure the Indonesians are lifting. Then of course you can just do like that.
Well, she raises her racket in apology for her good fortune.
But she doesn't mean it. She's happy inside.
Yeah.
Yes, a point.
Yeah, slight hesitation between the two Chinese players. And that's the other risk, you know, they're not they haven't been playing as a regular combination.
No.
So there will be these instances where there's the hesitation, who's going for which shot.
And now here comes the interval, and we see the Chinese coaches go in and totally direct what's going to happen, and they win in 2 easy games, and we look like like beginners up here. But that's the chance you have to take sometimes. Yes, he's going to flip. No, that's wide again. Or long again, sorry.
Yeah, well, another challenge here. No, I didn't agree with the last challenge. With the Hawkeye decision. Oh, that's clearly long. Well, that's not even close. Not even close.
Let's hope it's not an automatic reaction from the linesman.
Well, I think all the players knew it because they were already at the kit boxes. The coaches were on the starting blocks to come onto court. In here, Indonesian coach. Olympic bronze medalist in Athens 2004 with Flande Limpele.
Remember once we played Indonesia in Thomas Cup, and they fielded Tony Gunawan and Rexy Meineke in men's doubles together, and we thought, oh, that's great because they don't have any really good background player. But they didn't need one because we never got it past their front court player. And the possibility here is that Tang Yuanting simply attacks so well that Yu Yang will have no trouble in intercepting at the net, or perhaps they change positions.
Yeah, look at that defense, that's great.
But it's too easy for the Indonesians to sort of play counter-attack here. Yu Yang's at the net and she's doing nothing. And they're sort of outplaying themselves, the Chinese here.
Yeah, and Yu Yang really isn't, in my opinion, any sort of a threat from the back of the court. She plays half smash or a drop shot, waiting for that opportunity you were talking about to get forward.
Yeah, so she would need a really strong front court player.
Yeah.
And even though I think Yuanting is a great player, I don't think that's a speciality.
No. So that wasn't too bad, was it?
Just block it. That's well played.
Oh, from 9-all. That's quick back to the flick, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think actually I might prefer to flick a bit higher so that I'd have time to get in the good defensive position myself. If I were Greysia Polii.
A little shake of the head.
They feel they have a chance now, the Indonesians.
Yeah.
That's good read.
Oh, well, that was an opportunity.
She's got quite a big swing, Maheswari, when she's at the net. So needs a bit more time than, for instance, Polii. If the Chinese can make defensive shots like this, there's a good chance that there's going to come some mistakes from her.
Look at that power. Look at the work rate.
What
Fantastic.
a fantastic player. Well played, Yu Yang. Best spot to watch the game at the net.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. Good deception. Oh, excellent attack.
Well, that emphasising the point that we were making earlier. That hesitation when you're not a regular combination.
Yeah.
Hit in between the two players and they both leave it for the other.
And no one is sort of taking the responsibility of turning the defense around. And that's where we sort of miss this creative player. But I'm pretty sure that Yu Yang has been told in the interval to take more responsibility, to move forward.
Oh, it's just wide. Nice take at the net. That probably proves your thought process right there, Steen.
That's a very loose shot from Maheswari, but she gets away with it, and we can just try to imagine if she would have gotten away with that against Ma Jin, Zhao Yunlei or Bao Yixin.
Yeah. But at least Yu Yang was launching herself towards the net, trying to make that difference.
And of course, that's the sensible thing to do. This sort of point out a net player whose responsibility it is to sort of get the attack. And I think also they might be able to rotate a little bit more in their attack, the Chinese players.
Oh, that's clever. Good defense. She's missed it. There is Ricky Savaja on the coach's bench. Yeah, no question it was wide. Oh, 4 straight points to ease to the 4-point advantage.
Good call.
Well left.
Fantastic play by the Indonesians.
19-15.
Yeah, the attack on Yu Yang again. Serve is short.
Dangerous situations now for the Indonesians because they've sort of set themselves up to win this game, but can they finish it?
Well, the court is going to need to be mopped of the perspiration there.
This is where Yu Yang and Tang Yuanting are strong. If they come moving forward from the middle of the court or from the back court, middle court towards the net, they're really, really strong there.
And the first defensive shot, though, was from Tang Yuanting.
Yeah.
And then Yu Yang saw that pressure was being put on and she moved to the net position.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chinese take 4 points in a row right now. Because this is where the Indonesians are going to feel the pressure.
Unbelievable. Great reactions on the defence. Gets the lucky net cord. Phenomenal. And that incredible defence has given the Indonesians 3 game point opportunities. They only needed the one. 21-17, the opening game. Well, we might get our wish yet and have this semi-final tie go right down to the wire. Not so good for the teams, obviously. It goes down to the 5th, but for us watching, that's the ideal scenario.
And I'm pretty sure that it was necessary for the Indonesians to win this first game. It would have been devastating for them to throw it after being in control for most of the game.
Young has quite a short grip, doesn't she, even from the back of the court. Look how short it is at the net.
I think the Indonesians in the first game, they controlled the drift really well, so I'm actually a little concerned on their behalf here in the second game, because there's going to be just a little more power to the smashes of both Yang, but more importantly Tang Yuanting. Will they be able to defend in the same way here in the second as they've done in the first? And will we see Yang continue to move forward and try to sort of challenge Polii at the net? Definitely the Chinese need to make a comeback now.
Yeah, they are under pressure. So Indonesia 1 game to the good in this women's doubles. Well, for all her experience, Yang, I've noticed in tournaments over the last 6 months or so, Steen, I've noticed that she does tend to get a little bit nervous now.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, there should be a huge difference in her own confidence, because twice she and Yang has been whitewashed by Tang Yuanting with different partners. And even though it's compatriots, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts your self-confidence. So she's not necessarily going in as the captain of this ladies double. And she's being asked to do a job that she's not really that familiar with.
But we often see it in sport, don't we? It's not necessarily experience. It's, you know, as an athlete gets older, you realise that the number of chances you've got to win the big one are decreasing, and therefore you put on extra pressure on yourself. And you see it with golfers getting the yips on their
That's perhaps even more important, a saying that says self-confidence is a very fragile thing.
Yeah. Well, yet another service fault called. And Yu Yang once again above the waist.
Well played. And she has played mixed doubles, Yu Yang, and has got her World Championship medal. Has she also got an Olympic?
Yes, she won a bronze in Beijing in the mixed doubles with her Hanbin. Good defence from Tang Yuanting. Super. Yes, and of course, Yu Young has got a World Championship silver medal in the mixed doubles. That was in Paris in 2010. So, given her status and her success in mixed doubles, I would have thought that she should, in theory, have had more confidence as a front court player. But when you said a few moments ago that she doesn't compare to Zhao Yunlei, Ma Jin, Bao Yixin, I totally agree with you. Steady, but not that exceptional reading. Doesn't hunt the shuttle in the same way.
And it's about how many chances do you get as an opponent, and it's so important whether you're clinical or you're a little bit unsecure. Good coverage, good coverage.
Yeah.
Much better. In the first game, she was merely standing in the middle of the court whenever Tang Yuanting was attacking. So important to have these agreements in place.
Pushed it long.
4-6.
Yeah. Good call.
5-6.
Brilliant. Good rally. Yeah, you liked that, didn't you, Stan?
Yeah, moving forward, but the first lift from the Indonesians are too short.
Service fault called again.
And they're having a tough time right now, especially Yuanting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with the service judge. Well, I make that the third service fault called on Yuanting. Oh, there's confusion again. And then the smash goes long.
Take a look at the feet of the Chinese players when they're attacking. A number of times they're not even touching the front of the two service line on the back court, and that is a clear sign that the Indonesians are playing too short. I don't think they can be continuing down that line. This was long enough. This is way too short.
Oh my goodness! Fabulous!
She totally stopped Polii. Maheswari stepping in front of her, and she didn't know what to do. And a great defense from Yuanting.
Skipping up and down on the spot, a clear sign that just trying to relax herself. Not only power, but good placement. And that takes China to the mid-game interval with a 2-point advantage. Look at that. But that emphasised how short the lift was again.
Yeah. Very defining moment for the match. The next 5-6 rallies up to 15. I feel the Chinese pair is about to change the game around, but will they succeed?
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
It would be so important for them to create a gap of more than these 2 points they have right now.
Yeah, slight confusion.
11-9.
Who was supposed to be serving?
Yeah.
That's a great serve. Short. Oh my goodness! That's incredible defence, isn't it?
Oh, that was lucky.
Yeah.
Polii was serving directly into the net, but that was called ahead. Yeah.
Well, only 2 points since the mid-game interval, but given the point you were making, very, very important. These next few rallies after the mid-game interval. That's well played. Lovely play from Yuan.
Great catch over that left shoulder.
That is a magnificent put away. Yeah, it was a desperately short. In fact, I think it might have even been a half-court push, really.
Yeah.
But the angle she created was fantastic. Yeah, the Indonesians are pressurising Yu Yang on her defence.
And it's also difficult for her coming back from the net. Always the wrong position. And still feel the Chinese have the advantage. I think they've had much more success in their attack in this on this side of the court. Needs to take a step forward, the two Indonesian girls here. Cannot afford to be too defensive.
30.
Pushed it long.
Yeah. 40.
And the Indonesians back level. Oh goodness, the Indonesians were both stuck the same side of the court. Total confusion, which was exploited.
50, 40.
Thought initially they'd got away with it.
takes responsibilities at the net. Yu Yang, there she comes in.
Oh, clever. Very, very clever. Delightful change of pace.
17-14.
Oh, it's fallen in.
15-17.
Yeah, just held up by the drift.
And perhaps it just shows how short the other lifts have been.
Yeah.
Because Tang Yuanting was pretty sure that was going to go long.
Beautiful placement of that smash.
She's playing well, Polii. I think she's the better player of the two Indonesians, the more creative. Whereas Maheswari has got some physicality, very, very strong in attack. But if I were the Chinese, I would place the majority of my shots to Maheswari.
Yeah, good return of serve. That was courageous. Oh, how did she get that back? Yeah. Two points away from this second game.
It's a fantastic match we're watching, Joe.
Yeah.
Excellent ladies doubles.
Yeah, and look at the placement of this final smash from Greysia Polii. Saw that Tang Yuanting, she was just in the rhythm of her backhand defence, wasn't she? Smash across the body, down the forehand side. It's great thinking.
It is the formula for the Indonesians. They got to get the attack. Cannot survive in the defense in the long run.
Maheswari trying to intercept at the net but missing it. And now 3 game point opportunities for the Chinese pair. The opportunities to level this women's doubles at 1 game apiece. Good return. Then trying to be a little too cute. Greysia Polii, and it is indeed 1 game all. Complete symmetry in the scoreline. both games won and lost to 17. 45 minutes into the match. This women's doubles, and it's one game all. Confirmation of the scoreline. Well, they may have won that second game, but job is not done yet by the Chinese pair. Yu Young, very much the commander. Oh, I like that. Tang Yuanting is also adding her point of view. She's a lovely character. I've spoken to her on a couple of occasions. Speaks very good English. Tang Yuanting. So, okay, Steen, if you were courtside right now and had the opportunity to have spoken to the Indonesians, what would your advice have been?
It would have been to move Yu Yang away from the net, starting with the service situation. I think the Chinese have sort of cleared the situation on how to play, and Tang Yuanting is the backcourt player, whereas Yu Yang must take the responsibility on the front court, and I want to get her away from there and make her unsure of her role again. See how quick she's coming forward.
What a good opening rally to this deciding game.
Good call.
Yeah.
The difference between the two sides, now the Indonesians are playing with the wind again, and that means that they can actually get their defense long enough, which they had trouble doing in the second game. But I think the Chinese have sorted out their attacking confusion from the first game, and I think the only possible way forward is to try to get the attack for the Indonesians. I'm not sure they're good enough to do it. Right now I think things are going Yu and Tang's way.
Oh,
that's good.
Very good.
1, 2.
So, a matter of getting the attack first, or make sure that it's Yu Yang that is the backcourt player when China has the attack. That should be the Indonesian game plan for this first part of the third game.
Oh, she pushed it wide.
2, 4.
Oh, good backhand. What a rally. Oh, clever. Oh my goodness, brilliant! Well, greeted by almost stunned silence from the fans here. Yeah, the pressure on the attacking play is definitely going towards Yu Yang.
Well played by Yang. Challenge Maheswari when she's on the front court.
Yeah, good to see the communication between the two Chinese players. Oh, service fault called. Second fault called on Greysia Polii.
It's true, she lifts
Yeah.
the left arm just in the nick of time before hitting it.
Sensational.
Beautiful shot.
And looks so casual about it.
And so much for challenging her at the net.
Well, I'm still very torn as far as predicting the outcome of this is concerned.
Yeah, me too. But I still feel that the Indonesians need some kind of a lead going into the second
half.
part.
Clever smash. Power, placement, and her work rate. Tang Yuanting is incredible. There's the drop shot, and then towards the right hip of Maheswari.
And we should remember still that the Chinese players never lost a match.
Great judgment.
Yeah.
Great judgment.
I'm going to stick my neck out, Jill, and say that Yang and Tang Yuanting is going to take this. I think they've adjusted their game. The Indonesians, they've played 100% from the beginning, but now I think the Chinese have adjusted.
Yeah, and I think with interceptions like that, I mean, Tang Yuanting, she's been hitting winners from the back of the court. She's been setting her partner up on that last rally. Now, how can you claim you're not ready? How on earth? Well, it is called as a let. And that's the way to answer.
Beautiful serve to the left shoulder, covering the easy return. Yeah.
More I'm watching this, Steen, the more I'm absolutely agreeing with you. This lady, Tang Yuanting, is the best player in the world at the moment.
I think she's... But Young has played an important role in this match.
Yeah. Well, this little surge, 5 straight points, and it's all since I said I was torn between trying to predict this. Steen, you're absolutely right.
I love it.
Yeah.
So. It's crucial for the Indonesians to get the attack now, and if they're in the mid-court not really able to get the attack, so far they've been playing the net, but now they have to lift it flat over Young because she's coming forward. Yeah, that one.
That one, yes.
And lift it so flat that Tang Yuanting cannot come in smashing. She would only, if she hits it really hard, it would be flat so that they can counter-attack. But that's well read by Yang, that one.
Yeah, and on a run of 6 straight points from 5-6 down, change ends with the advantage. Yeah, and the whole body language, they're losing confidence now. Especially Yu Yang, who did look a little bit unsure earlier on in the match. Now, the nod in agreement with the coaches, the relaxed body posture. Yeah. And yet, the Indonesians, especially from Maheswari, a look of confusion. 3 minutes shy of the hour mark. And China lead 11-6 in the deciding game of this women's doubles.
11-6.
And they have to be really disciplined, Polii and Maheswari, because there's simply no high lifts from this side of the court, because they won't be able to withstand the attack from the two Chinese players. That's good. Like you said, Joe, she's more confident now.
Yeah, even the high five was hit with purpose after the rally. The delay about?
Some sweat done just around the first service line.
And that's what you were talking about earlier. It's too flat, the flick serve needs to give it a bit more height.
simply have no time to get themselves into a good position. Oh, that's a great move by Yuanting. Moves so quickly to the front court there. And a great job by the Chinese coaches.
Yeah. 6 points the advantage now to China.
Yeah.
Oh, service one point.
Lifting the left arm again. Look how it goes up. It's really nice to see the service judge alert to this phenomena. A lot of the players does it starting out totally according to the rules, and then actually in the service movement lifts the left arm.
Well, it's all one-way traffic at the moment now. It's all in favour of China. Look at the reaction after that rally. Oh. Not supposed to do that, is she? That's clever. Shot going past Yang at the front of the court.
And they have to go for some 50-50 situations now. The Indonesians hope that everything goes their way.
Superb.
I told you, just hit it there, and then I've got the next one. That's what she's saying.
Well, she may be only 20 years of age, Tang Yuanting. But she really has played so well. And the Indonesians want the shuttle changed. China say no, this is fine, we're winning with this one. We'll keep this one, thanks. Brilliant. 2 points away with great reactions on the crouch defence. Yeah, that's clearly in. 2 points away from an 11th consecutive Sudirman Cup final. Oh, that's nice. Very, very nice. Good change of pace. Court will need to be mopped.
Look at the stance of Tang Yuanting. A lot of players, tall players, could learn something from her.
What, that she's crouching down low?
Exactly. It's so important to get the point of gravity low. You have much better balance. You can defend better in the sides. The hard thing is that if you get it too low, you will be a little bit too slow moving forward to a drop shot.
Well, this is desperation for Indonesia. They have. This is probably their very last chance to make a move to catch back up. 12-19. Defense. Oh my goodness me. What a rally. Yeah, no wonder they applaud, because China, the defending champions, on the verge of yet another final in the Sudirman Cup. 7 match point opportunities. Yeah, they needed to have been doing that a little earlier.
Yeah.
The Indonesians. Heading in a downward direction. It's gone long.
50-20.
And on their third match point opportunity, Yuanting and Tang Yuanting take China through to an 11th Sudirman Cup final. 17-21, 21-17, 21-15 in the deciding game, in a match lasting an hour and 10 minutes. Well, congratulated by head coach Lee Yong-bo and all the team. Well, the Indonesians put up a brave fight. No, she's won Sudirman Cup competitions before, you young, but that's what it means to get through to the final once again. So confirmation of the score: 17-21, 21-17, 21-15 in an hour and 10 minutes. Now, that means China 3-1 in the overall tie, and therefore the fifth and final match will not be contested, the mixed doubles. There is confirmation, the tragedy of Manaputi having to retire. It looked like a very serious knee injury, and certainly we hope that's not the case. But it all started with the 2013 world champions Mohammad Hassan and Hendra Setiawan beating the reigning Olympic champions Dayunafu Haifang. Then Chen Long, the world champion, beating the former world junior #1 player Jonathan Christie. Then, as we saw, what a wonderful women's doubles. And Indonesia dared to dream after taking that first game. But the experience of Yuanting and Tang Yuanting playing in her first Sudirman Cup campaign, well, they were just too good. Remember, we will be back in almost, at 7 o'clock local time. That's 2 hours 20 minutes from now, with the second of the semi-finals. Korea, the 3-time champions, against Japan. But from all of us here in Dongguan, until that second semi-final, bye for now.